everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome to another episode of Coolcraft. And that is not the firework rockets, decidedly. Where are my fireworks? There they are. As I was like, welcome to another episode of Coolcraft Season 7. Now, it's been a hot second since the last episode because I finally got an update out for my game. Woo, finally! Anyhow, more about that at the end of the video. In the last episode, I did something that many would consider to be quite illegal. And you can definitely check out the last episode to see how I did that, and we might be taking advantage of that later in this episode, but we'll have to see. But for now, we need to start off this episode with the good old sacrifice, same as we've been doing for a lot of episodes now. I kind of forgot why we're doing this. Anyhow, let's just get this over with. Don't pick anyone up. Okay. And fast forwarding through this. Alright then. Alright, nothing to report there. It's back to please as well. First time in a while that's been green. So, in between episodes, there's actually been a fair amount of stuff that's been going on. For one, we are now... Oh, that's the wrong button. On 1.21.5, I finally got around to updating the server, and, besides some data pack and resource pack issues, they changed stuff around a bit, the update was a relatively smooth one. As hinted at the end of last episode, Tyler actually has returned to the server, finally! And, this is probably spoilers, but he's been doing some work on his base. Things are finally happening around here. And finally, I have been preparing for what we're going to be doing in this episode, which, as you may tell by the fact that I've come to a nether fortress that has been pretty well spawn-proofed, we are going to be making a wither farm today. Now, I've already, as I've said, in between episodes, I spent some time digging out this area here, also spawn-proofing the fortress so I wasn't getting ambushed by blazes 24/7. Now, these chests, by the way, just contain a bunch of resources I got from digging out the thing. Not the actual resources for building it. That's back at my base. But yeah, also, while I'm here, I might as well mention, I've had an issue with Lightmatica where every time I come back into the nether, my schematic doesn't exist here anymore, which is very annoying. Anyhow, let's hop into a time-lapse of this thing being built. Man, it has been a minute since I built this farm. Since Season 2, in fact. I realized after the time lapse, by the way, that, yeah, I missed this little bit on the top of the schematic here. Specifically, the schematic didn't have this as... This farm, at least the design, or the world demo that I got this schematic from, had two more layers on top of this that I've never built. So I needed to go look back at Season 2 and be like, oh, did I actually have to have something up here? I did, by the way. And in case you're wondering, this farm was designed by a certified genius Nenbon, aka the current Mojang developer responsible for things like the crafter and the tick command. Yes, that certified genius. But yeah, this isn't the farm that we've been building the last few seasons. This is considerably more complex and more annoying to build in many, many ways, I must add. But yeah, it farms more than just wither skeletons. It farms the entire pantheon of nether fortress mobs apart from magma cubes because those are too much of a pain to handle. Now, another thing about the schematic is it didn't actually contain anything below the drop shaft, so none of the collection or storage system, which is fine. We'll figure that stuff out next. But yeah, other than that, the farm should be, built. Of course, after We built a storage system. We then gotta go and actually spawn-proof the surrounding perimeter. But I mean, heck, being in a Solstice Valley, this is actually pretty good already. In terms of, like, mobs that just naturally spawned in here. So, yeah, let's head down to the bottom and actually give this thing a test. I actually have no idea if this thing still works, because I haven't built this thing since, like, Season 2, as I mentioned. And this thing was, I think, maybe even designed back in as far as 1.12, as the schematic had some trap chests and normal chests over here. Haven't needed to do that since 1.13. Maybe it was muscle memory. Anyhow, this level should be this lever should be what we need to activate, so, hup. Of course, I have no way of actually seeing what's going on up there at the moment. Here we go, and oh, right, they're supposed to land on a hay bale. Oh, here's some. Nope, screw it. Alright, they're one-shots, so I will... No issues, it's all one-shots, I won't... And there's another wither skull. Oh yeah, by the way, when I was digging this area out, not even when I was building, when I was digging this area out, I got 5 wither skulls. Here, we'll turn this off. Yes, it works, by the looks of things. But yeah, this farm is quite ridiculous in terms of what it provides. A storage system is next. Alright, I got the collection system built up, or, you know, how I get entities killed here and their items transported down there, basically. Yeah. So yeah, the video is 7 years old, and this system is relatively beefy, because this is supposed to be able to put out a lot of items. Here, but the reason why this is so tall and beefy is because there's a lot of hopper minecarts inside of here. Really, there's like 8... there's like 9 hopper minecarts inside of here. Because yeah, you know, everything comes in here, it gets killed here, AFK spot is right here. Then their stuff gets picked up here, sucked up by these, and then distributed by the 4 hopper minecarts beneath there, put into these droppers where they get spit out here, and then we'll have our collection system down here. I do need to get rid of the lava. There's soul sand down here. This is gonna be so much harder than I will like it. I'm gonna need fire resistance potions to get rid of or cover up at least the soul sand. Crap. In part of doing the storage system, I'm obviously gonna want to be using water in there instead of having to use, you know, ice and stuff. So the challenge is obviously transporting water all the way over to the farm here, and that's what this kind of tunnel here is for. More specifically, I'm going to be sending a flying machine through this tunnel. And, yeah, that's how we're going to move the water. But you see, moving water with a flying machine is a little bit complicated in how it actually works. Because, first of all, you have to have a waterlogged block. That's pretty simple. But that waterlogged block has to be pushed by a sticky piston receiving a 1-tick pulse. That is the only way you can move water. You can't pull it. You can't use a regular piston. It has to be a sticky piston pushed with a 1-tick pulse. So that's what this flying machine here is for. And now I got a lot of junk in my inventory, but now I gotta get water over here, get this to be a source so I can get moving this all the way down there. Alright, as you can see, storage system, I have completed it, hopefully. Obviously, got the water going around here. Water in the nether, very hard to manage, but I managed it. Item sorters here, and then down this way we have the actual storage systems. I don't entirely remember what I configured these things for, but I think I got everything that was important. Oh yeah, found 3 ancient debris while digging around down here, so that's pretty good. Bones are over here, apparently. I believe that one's wither skulls. But yeah, everything else is, well, it's somewhere in there, hopefully. Now that that's done, the farm itself is, you know, effectively completed. I probably should make a little bit of a better AFK area here, but I'll do that later. But yeah, now this farm technically works just fine. However, you might notice that it's still going to be quite slow at the moment, because obviously we haven't actually spawn-proofed everything. Look, there's a skeleton over that way. So that's why the next job for this episode is to do the buttoning, or spamming buttons around this area, create a spawn-proof perimeter. Yeah, this farm actually can crank at times, so just don't expect it to keep doing that when there's a lot of spawning space around. So yeah, anyhow, I guess let's hop into a time-lapse of me placing like 20,000 buttons or something like that. Okay, correction, it was a lot more than 20,000 buttons, but you get the idea. It's a lot of buttons. But yeah, anyhow, yeah, I'm doing a time-lapse chat this time instead of music, because I wanted to talk to you about the fact that my game, linked in the description, by the way, if you want to check it out, is, well, I just released a new update for it. I haven't made the official update video for it yet, but I did re-record a couple tutorial videos that I have actually now public instead of unlisted on my second channel, if you want to check it out. And heck, while you're on the second channel, check out the development videos that I've made for the game. Those showed off some of the new features I was making. One of those videos, in fact, was about me doing a lot of changes to how a lot of internal things were handled, making them better, more modular, and theoretically less of a pain to, like, work with. And ever since I've done that, I've been starting to have ideas for how I could improve other things in the game, how I could do this sort of thing to other things, and then think of, wait, I got other areas that'd be complex to do that for, but I need to do it for because I kind of just forgot about them when I was already doing it. But yeah, so that's fun. So if you see another gap in videos on the main channel like this, just assume I'm doing stuff for my game. Because, I mean, mind you, I was also procrastinating a lot in between the last video and this one. Whether it was making the levels that I just released or actually writing the scripts for those videos. There was a lot of procrastination, but anyhow, we're back to Coolcraft, and this button perimeter is looking pretty good. Alright, so the perimeter is done, however... Oh, right, I turned the farm off here. I have started to notice that some items are getting backed up here. Yeah, I have a lot of excess buttons on in my inventory here. No big reason, but yeah, stuff is starting to back up on top of the stuff here a little bit. That's not supposed to happen, and I think I might be able to pinpoint why down here. Yeah, I don't know why Nembomb thought this was the best design for an auto dropper, but it really isn't. The pistons get stuck like this remarkably easily. It explains why back Season 1, Season 2, when I actually built this farm last. Here, let me turn on sound. You can hear all the clicking. Why I did something different for the piston setup. And I have to do that now because this doesn't work very well. So, yeah. I guess I'm doing that now. Alright, I have replaced the clocks here to actually not be pulse spammable now. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff in a couple of these. But yeah. Pretty simply this. I'm pretty sure this is what I've done in past seasons. Okay, this one's done. And now, all I need to do, well, there's a couple other things I need to do. I need to actually make there be a proper AFK area here, because currently this is just, this is kind of trash. Oh, if you're wondering what the Sarm stand is, I made a data pack a little while back that I just put on the server to help me debug where things are spawning in the perimeter. It seems pretty good for now, but I haven't extensively tested this. It's also Silsand Valley biome everywhere within the perimeter, so shouldn't be too bad if there are any gaps, which there are. But yeah, I got to make this like a bit of a better, more enclosed AFK area, because if somehow there is a ghast back there, that's pretty bad. Also, we need to have some beacons in here for regen, otherwise I will starve to death overnight. Wonder where we're gonna get those wither skulls from. Alright, beacons have been installed, and so is the room that I am going to be AFKing in. I didn't particularly know what to do, and quite frankly still need to figure out how I'm going to properly get down there and do those decorations, but at this point I think it's about time we try to AFK the first night. Also, this door, if you can even call it that, is going to prevent exactly nothing from getting in if anything somehow lands there. But I don't think anything will, because I've done a pretty good job at spawn proofing it. Anyhow, before I start the night, I do kind of want to show off what our loot is currently looking like. So we got that many wither skulls, a lot of coal, some gold, a few blaze rods, a lot of bones, and some rotten flesh. And now, let's cut to tomorrow morning when, or afternoon, let's be real, like 12 hours from now when I've finally finished this AFK session. Alright, I've just gotten back to the computer here, and as you can see, yeah, my health is quite low. That's a little bit lower than I would have expected it to be from just swinging my sword overnight, so that's fun. But yeah, after we get all these mobs here taken care of, we'll be able to see how things went in the storage system. Alright, so to start out, this is actually a great sign here. There's a lot of stuff just going around in the water here, which possibly means that Okay. Fair number of wither skulls. That one's full on coal. That one's also full on coal. Maybe that gold nuggets are full. Got a fair few gold ingots. Are we full on blazers? We are full on blaze rods. Full on bones, and also full on rotten flesh. So yeah, the only things we're not full on is wither skulls and gold ingots. I probably should make all of these get crafted down into gold ingots, and all of these get crafted down into coal blocks. I guess I'll work on that while I make this room here look better. Okay, so I just noticed this baby zombie piglin hanging out down here, and I was wondering where the heck did this guy spawn? And it turns out it spawned all the way up there in the farm. How? How did this guy spawn all the way up there and then somehow get down here? That should not be physically possible. What? Alright, so I have at least decorated the storage systems. Haven't done anything with crafters yet because, well, quite frankly, laziness. But I'll get there eventually. But yeah, it's pretty simple decorations at the moment. Maybe I'll, spice it up later. But at the moment, we have the white walls and ceiling, same as the killing chamber room above. And then on the floor, we have this stair pattern to make this spawn-proof, while also still providing a normal block height flat floor here that also doesn't make us going bump, 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 bump. We go stairs up here. Still the same colors, same sort of things. And then we're up here. Yeah, now I guess I'll figure out stuff for, like, compacting all that coal and gold down. Alright then, I have installed the auto crafters, and because obviously the hoppers had to kind of go down, yeah, I've pushed these chests back a bit so we can have more of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here on the end. So these are going to be gold blocks here. I only did a single row, and then we did all of these as coal blocks, because of course most of the gold is gold nuggets, which that takes a lot to compact down to a single block. We didn't end up with too many of those, so that should be fine. Oh yeah, but here's the redstone back here for all the crafters. These are the coal ones over here, and then these ones are the gold. We have the nuggets going into these, up and over into this one, who then just goes down, and also the gold ingot filter also does here, because gold ingots are still quite rare. But yeah. So yeah, this is finished now. Now, I've looked it up, and apparently the video for this farm was released like 7 years ago in 1.12, or at least it was designed in 1.12. So yeah, this farm holds up really well for a 7-year-old design from a version of Minecraft that has long since been outdated. In fact, quite frankly, the fact that it still works is, quite impressive. I guess that's just the genius of this engineering, that it stands the test of time. So, yeah. Alright, to round off this episode, I need to prepare for what we're gonna do covering this thing here, because it's been here for a little while now, and I do need to build a building around it. Although, mind you, when I had the idea for this base, I didn't think I was gonna be building so many tall things. So I didn't really prepare for that. But yeah, here we are, another thing that is relatively tall. But that's not what we're doing in this episode. We're mostly just preparing the area around it. So, and also, I guess, gathering some materials. So the next episode, we can jump right in with a time-lapse of me building this thing. Alright, so here's what we got going. We got a path around where the building's gonna be, and dirt, which is eventually gonna become grass, whenever it decides to spread enough. That's also around where the building's going to be. Yeah, this wasn't a particularly complex job. But yeah, I can kind of actually talk about my what I'm kind of planning on doing with like the street design here. I don't want these streets to be like a full grid like I've always been doing before. Now, obviously grids are gonna end up happening, like things are gonna be on the cardinal axis. Maybe I'll do a diagonal at some point. That might be fun. But yeah, I'm gonna try to, not have 4-way intersections as much as possible. Try to limit it to, like, offset 3-way intersections to make the streets at least kind of interesting, and also try to put these smaller buildings in between the bigger ones as much as possible. Additionally, something else that I want to quickly touch on is these trash cans. I put these in as a way to quickly feed items into my storage system from anywhere in my base. They kind of suck, honestly. I need to somehow figure out how to make this a better design, because it's actually incredibly hard to throw items down there. Okay, from this distance, oh, like, it's also very inconsistent, which is so annoying. Like, I'll get one that goes in there, and then the rest will just, like, hit on the side and be like, no, screw you. Ugh, so annoying to throw stuff in there. With that, I'm gonna have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Please make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe. Check out my game. As I mentioned, update just dropped. That is linked in the description. And I will see you all in the next episode of Coolcraft Season 7. Bye!